Hello and welcome to the 11th and possibly final game of the 2020 Women's World Championship match here in Vladivostok. Zhu Wenjun, the reigning world champion, is just 1 point away from victory. So we will see whether she will manage to do it. We see the players shaking hands, and the clock has been started. So
E4.
we see E4 has been played. I'd just like to apologize. We started slightly late today. We had an unfortunate mishap, but we are both alive and well and ready to bring you this exciting game. So, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts and predictions for today, Yifan?
Well, it looks like from the opening, it might be a draw, or White will come up with something. I don't know. If she's going to choose the line, for example, like Rook E1 in the game she did before, then it likely ended in a draw. But if not, like D3, we'll see how game going on.
So, basically, you're saying that you're expecting something solid
Depends on what move.
from Zhu. Well, it's interesting actually that Goryachkina hasn't diverged from her regular repertoire, despite requiring 1.5 points from her remaining 2 games to stay in the match, and one would not normally describe the Berlin defense as the most counter-attacking opening.
Well, yeah, but
solid it certainly is, but ambitious, not so much.
Yeah, but it's actually a very tricky moment for Goryachkina. I mean, she could choose something else, which consider could be more aggressive, but it's really double-edged. And considering that she needs 1.5 points, right, to survive for the last 2 games.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Okay.
D4, okay.
So
what she's hoping for?
We're going to have an endgame. Looks like it. Well,
Or
I mean,
if she's going to D knight B5, like, unlikely, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, endgame. Would you think that would happen? Because she's not a typical E4 player.
Yeah,
and if
she
did D4 this line the first time in the match, I wouldn't expect a a very deep preparation in the end game.
Well, you never know. She's had time. She's had plenty of time.
Well, one day, but
Yeah.
1 day for Berlin end game.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine. We'll see.
So there's a pause here. There are other moves. There are slightly tricky moves. I think.
You know, well, it reminds me thought about one of the games we have been played before, long time ago.
Yeah.
When you're talking about other moves, which could be surprised. But not so many apart from 96, isn't it?
Yeah. Bishop E7.
Oh.
Could be tried, but okay. 96 is by far the most common. People do win games with black in the Berlin, don't they? I mean,
But it
maybe,
depends that both players want a real game. If you see D takes E5.
Aha, interesting.
So not end game.
Right.
Well, she might have some, little choice in this, after Queen takes D4.
Okay.
And E takes Queen D6.
So
maybe
explain to me.
choice.
Explain to me. It looks to me like Zhu has just blundered a piece. So explain to me why she's not blundered a piece here.
You want us to show the audience the line, right? Let's put it in advance.
Yeah. Okay. So the basic problem is that
The knight?
the knight is short of squares here. severely short of squares.
Currently.
Yeah. So there we have it. So this has happened. Knight takes b5. And a4 has been played. And I shall tell you what is the main theory. There are different moves here, aren't there? There are...
Yeah, d6 could be one of the options, but I think maybe Gregina would go for knight d4.
Yeah, the currently fashionable move is to play knight d4, just sort of giving away the piece on a... Well, exchanging some pieces actually when you play knight d4. So that there's knight d4, b to d4 has been played. I see 699 times. So that's quite a lot. d6 has been seen as well. And what happens after
d6?
d6?
Yeah, we're gonna have a look for the next few moves. A takes. Oh.
Actually, d6 scores relatively well. A takes b5, and then knight takes e5. Why doesn't that just win material?
Oh, she went for knight d4.
She went knight d4. Yeah, as rook e1 is.
Oh, sorry, you want to see the line?
I don't really. Yeah, okay. Just have a brief look. Rook e1 and bishop e7 can be played there. So that was another line. That possibility has passed us by. I think the main problem with this, although it doesn't seem to be that bad at all, is that white has opened up this A file, which is actually a little bit unpleasant for black.
Yeah.
Otherwise, black has a very good position. So
could even hope for initiative.
Oh, sure, definitely. But that open A file is slightly awkward for black to deal with. So
let's get back to the game.
Let's get back to the game. Knight d4 and knight takes d4 has happened.
Okay, we'll expect some knight d4 d5 line, right?
Yeah. And interestingly,
d5, yeah.
Interestingly, yeah, there is a choice there that knight takes d4 was the most popular move, followed by d5.
Yeah,
and this is the second most popular move, just to play d5 straight off. Both of these lines have been seen. Incidentally, d5 was played in the game Pillsbury against Stout.
Who are they?
Oh, come on, you don't know who Harry Nelson Pillsbury is? You've shocked me now.
Oh, wait.
They should take your grandmaster title away from you if you don't know who Harry Nelson Pillsbury.
Maybe I should see the name. I mean,
Pillsbury.
whom?
How do you spell Pillsbury? With a P.
Yeah, I know, but I just thought.
It was one of the great American players. He was the guy who won Hastings 1895, one of the greatest tournaments of all time.
Okay, 1895. So, you know, there's a reason I don't know this.
You're going to tell me you weren't born then? I'll let you into a surprising secret. I also was not born in 1895. I mean, I know people watching at home may be shocked and stunned by that, but I also wasn't. But I know that. Harry Nelson's Pillsbury, and and shortly afterwards he contracted syphilis playing in the St. Petersburg tournament, and he met a very early death, actually, because in those days syphilis was untreatable. Mm-hmm. Nowadays you just get a good shot of penicillin, so I understand.
Okay, let's back to the game.
Let's back to the game. We'll keep away from medical stories.
Yeah, so that's some little choice for white. You see.
Yeah. So so it went. E takes d5. D takes d6 rather, en passant. Yeah, knight takes d4 takes.
Transposed, and here
queen takes. Yeah, and now let me just see. And queen e3
is apparently the main line.
Well, yeah, well, it's not actually. Queen e4 is
if you don't want a repetition, queen e3 is the main line.
Yeah, okay.
And here, black needs to think, because think between bishop e7 or bishop e6, basically.
Yeah. So 1897. It's an old variation. You're surprised, aren't you?
Yeah.
At its antiquity. Yeah. It's a very, very old line. So, what do we have? We've got. So, let's talk in general terms about what is going on here. So, it looks as if white has played in an unambitious way.
Exactly.
And black has the advantage of 2 bishops, and therefore can hope to win. Is that right?
Not exactly in this position. I mean, because black is really far behind in the piece development, right?
Yeah.
And his king is still in the center.
Yeah.
So basically, white needs to take this advantage, trying to create some, threats, or maybe trying to at least exchange one of the pair of bishops, and then black.
Yeah.
I mean, black is okay. Normally, it's holdable and just equal. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, just for the little statistical information, I haven't updated this database in the last week or two, but from what I have here, this position has been seen a little over 100 times, and it's generally favourable for white, slightly. Mm-hmm. Although the sort of general information, the engine seems to say this is more or less equal.
Completely equal.
In practice, it seems to be slightly easier for white to play, and I think the point there is. As you say, it's the development, it's the piece development, which is the key thing. And next few moves are very, very important.
Crucial.
Yeah. Because if black were just given a free hand, bishop e7, if black were just given a free hand with bishop e7 and then castling, black could look forward to an advantageous end game. So white needs to be energetic and to make the most of this, I won't call it an attack, an initiative.
Something like that.
Yeah. So we still have quite a number of games played something 40-odd games played in this position. And the main choice appears to be a6.
Yeah,
which
to prevent
loses,
knight b5.
Yeah, which loses some time. So let's try and understand this. So if the bishop would come here, which looks like a very standard move,
Yeah,
knight b5, and now there is a question of where this. In fact, it's a little bit awkward to put this queen anywhere.
Maybe d7.
Maybe to d7, and then
Queen
g3.
And now black needs to sacrifice a pawn.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, it's hard to imagine, right?
Yeah.
Because long castle will face bishop f4, so it's really difficult.
Yeah.
Therefore,
I mean, even knight takes a7 check would be good against that. And if black goes the other way, just queen takes c7 appears to win a pawn for not very much. I mean, there would be some difficulties converting this advantage, but I mean, it's clear that only white has any chances of winning such a game.
maybe you could also try to take with knight.
And then after bishop d6,
Bishop f4.
also possible.
I mean, but that's probably not enough to win, but still.
Yeah.
It
No,
might
it's an
be better.
interesting idea.
Not sure.
Yeah.
This, but maybe black could take here.
Yeah.
And then you have rook, bishop e5, bishop c3, so that's fine.
No, you can do that. Maybe f6 would be.
You mean f6 here?
Yeah, something like
Well,
that.
but you're just defending a worse
No,
position.
I'm defending a worse position. I mean, there are no prospects for black in such
Okay, a6 has been played.
Okay, that makes sense. And interestingly, just for the statistics, I'm learning something. I'm never too old to learn. That a6 is the only move which scores in black's favor.
Oh,
Yeah.
does it?
So slightly. White is only scoring 45, close to 46% here. Rook d1 is the main move, and that
Now
is
black facing another question: where to move the queen?
Rook,
c6 seems like the most natural place.
it does.
right?
It does. And it's already happened, as I understand. Okay. So from c6, you're protecting the queenside pawns, and in fact the queen can't really be disturbed
No.
on this square.
No, because white is unlikely to have some very slow maneuvering like knight e2, knight d4, but it's too slow.
You can play more
Bishop,
energetically. Why
just
not?
take.
Come on.
I mean,
You're a young tactician, so why not go knight b5 instead?
yeah, I mean knight b5 is the main move apparently. Okay,
No,
rook
it
d3.
isn't actually. Rook d3 is the main move. I've no idea why that should be a good move. Why is that a good move? Can somebody explain? It's been played by a lot of strong players.
Well, maybe hoping for something knight b5, rook c3.
Aha! Ho, ho, ho!
I have no idea, but probably.
Ah, yes, okay.
It's basically a prophylaxis thinking move, right? So just
Yeah.
avoid queen c2, threatening d1, and now waiting to see where black move his bishop.
Yeah.
Well, where to move the bishop? Let's try something very natural like bishop e7. What would it face?
That's a very good question.
We can have a look.
Okay, so can I do knight b5?
b5, probably.
Not sure. Queen takes c2 a move?
Oh, you want to take?
Well, I don't know. I was the first question, isn't it? No idea whether I want to take. Knight d4.
Queen c5, maybe.
Yeah, but then knight e6, knight e6.
You want?
And then what do you want?
Yeah.
Then you're in trouble. So you have to play queen c4 instead.
No, but then b3 maybe.
Yeah, but then queen d5.
Knight b5.
Oh, tactics. So let's have a look. Bishop e7.
This is what we have just discussed.
Yeah, knight b5. This has actually been played a few times, apparently. In quite serious games, too.
Oh,
I see Jones. That must be Gawain Jones, not Yolo Jones, the Welsh international. Did you know that Jones was a Welsh name?
No.
Okay, well you do now. Tell me something. Do you think it's right that the United Kingdom has so many chess federations?
Well, such a political question. How you want me to say?
I always like to embarrass you every day. So
I noticed every day there will be some moments that I'm facing a quite tricky question.
Yeah. Because I know that the moment I say anything vaguely political, that you
started to
you start trying to change the subject.
But now it seems a little bit hard because Goryachina looks like she's about to think for a while. I mean, it's supposed to be still in her knowledge. But,
it should be.
But, I mean, sometimes over the board, if you're not so familiar with the line, you might need some time just to record and to ensure, because this position is very important. If she found the correct reaction, black would be okay very soon. But if not, she'll suffer another long and hard game.
Yeah.
Therefore, she might think for quite a bit of time.
Yeah, actually, I see this rook d3 and knight b5 was even played by Nigel as well. Arkady Nigel, another very strong player, who's beaten Magnus Carlsen a couple of times.
Yeah, in Grand Prix, right? I remember once.
Yeah.
They were playing the tiebreak.
There was another one as well, I can recall. Yeah, maybe it's an Olympiad or something. I don't remember.
I remember they played a game
Yeah.
with Nadar and Magnus sacrificed a piece.
I was actually in doing the commentary at that.
Oh, really?
During that game. So, I was there in Baden-Baden. Very nice spa town. If you've got lots of money, I can recommend it. If you're middle-aged, got too much weight, and you want a good spa treatment, I can recommend going to Baden-Baden.
And also a place for chess.
It's also, a historic chess venue.
Okay, so now apart from bishop e7, can we try to bring up more options from black?
Yep.
What we have? We may have rook d8.
Yeah, rook d8 is actually one of the moves here. It's only been played once. There are lots of moves, so all sorts of bishop moves, like bishop e7, bishop d6, bishop c5. Not
even bishop e4, not bishop b4.
Not recommended because of knight d5, I guess. But that bishop has moved, And rook d8, I mean, that could be a move I could play, although I'd be nervous about making such a move. You
Exactly.
know, you
Just
know,
to kind of already move the king a little bit nervous.
Yeah. Because Queen A7 is somehow in the air.
Well, I'm not sure if here. Be careful.
Maybe.
No, but you might have this move and then
Tchaikovsky,
this move.
I give a yep.
Check.
Yeah.
King.
Oh, where are you going? You reckless maniac.
Okay, this is too much, right?
Yeah, I think it's a bit excessive. Yeah.
Okay. Then I need a kind of waiting move here. For example, like, no, but that's too slow.
Yeah, bishop f4 is going to come, rook d1 is going to come.
Yeah,
so
maybe.
So it kind of feels rook d8. I don't know. Looks a bit risky.
Indeed.
But it seems to be playable for some reason. Oh yes, it was played by Luke McShane even.
So all the moves here.
Yeah. Maybe this is a sensible choice, actually, for
Bishop c5
for
has been
Duke,
played.
because she's played in a way not really that much of a main line. It has been seen, but it's. I don't think her opponent has a lot of experience here, and it can be the sort of line you play that you think, okay, I'll try.
And
I'll
if
try
nothing, that's fine.
Yeah, if it turns out to be a quick draw, or you know, it's no big deal, you know. And then I'm on 12 points, and I'm simply a draw away from retaining my World Championship title. So, okay, Bishop c5 is forcing. Can I just go back one move? I was completely puzzled here because my engine is suggesting the most ridiculous move instead of.
What is the most ridiculous move?
I can't hear. I mean, it's just sort of there. H5.
No way. I mean, I don't think we're going to talk about this move. This is just.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, H5, H4, and H5, Rook H6, Rook G6.
Are you serious?
Who knows? I mean, that's utterly bizarre. I mean, sometimes it's never been played. Okay, after a few gin and tonics, I could play such a move, but not before.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, Bishop c5 now seems like a quite forcing line because white is supposed to go Queen g3. There are not many other recommendations, right? And now a question for black, how to continue?
Yeah, this is a good point. So Bishop c5 is definitely
the most natural.
Well, natural. I mean, I don't know whether it is. For me, Bishop e7 looks like the most natural,
but it gives white more options. Bishop c5, you try to limit white's option.
Yeah. So it's a question.
Okay, so Queen g3. Let's try this first, and then. Because here, black cannot do short castle.
Yeah.
So.
There's only one game here.
Who played?
It's Cornet against Mazet. So it's a French.
Okay, I know them.
Yeah. French encounter. And Queen e4 was played, interestingly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Queen e4.
Yeah, that's exploiting the looseness of the bishop. So, because after the exchange of queens, knight takes e4, then simply the knight is attacking that bishop. So it's a tempo. She's played queen g3, which
okay.
is the most natural move, actually. That's certainly be the move I would play.
Yes.
If I were looking
for winning chances.
Yeah, an advantage, yeah. I mean, queen e4 looks a little more modest to my mind. And this is an interesting moment, because the real issue is this this threat to the f6 is in fact the
kind of
main,
the only move.
the main move. Bishop d6 was also possible, and okay, so if castles, then bishop h6 was very, very unpleasant winning material. So we see a tactical defense of the g-pawn. And you'll explain to us all why queen takes g7 is not recommended.
I'm trying to explain.
Okay, good.
Using the arrow today, we change to the blue
good.
color.
All right, okay. So,
you like my...
So basically, yeah. So if queen takes g7, rook g8, and then suddenly there is a this combined attack on g2. The queen moves out of the way. Queen takes g2, checkmate, which would give us an early day, wouldn't it?
That's a
basically
dream.
most of the day off. Yeah.
Okay.
So f6 is reasonable.
So bishop f4.
And bishop f, yeah. So
or do you have? No, you don't have.
Bishop f4 looks like the most normal.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine there would be any other move.
Well, bishop e3 is
but
another
then
move.
bishop d6. Then you play bishop f4.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
And we've spoken about these themes before. That it's very often a good idea when your opponent has two bishops to exchange off one of them. It reduces the power of the bishops, which work very well together. So this would be another option. Doesn't feel like let's say a killer blow. This, I don't think black would be quaking in her boots after such a move. And it should be said that once black has played f6, castles becomes a possibility now, or you may prefer to put the king on f7, just depending on the circumstances.
Yeah, but it's hard to imagine that white can really create any troubles for black after bishop e3.
No.
So
bishop f4.
Here.
Bishop f4
more
is
ambitious.
It is. It most certainly is.
And now black facing an option to sacrifice the pawn or to defend the pawn.
Yeah. Okay, let's go for it. g5.
Are you serious? If just take
h5. It's no good.
I mean, the most simple one I can do is bishop d6, right?
And now after h4.
Queen f3. I mean, it's ugly, but still, I doubt if white is just simply better. You not agree with me because of you can take on h2? No, but then rook d6.
So queen takes queen. You have to.
Yeah.
You have to take the pawn.
Okay. Yeah, I have to.
And here, I agree that although I have some compensation, it doesn't look like a winning try for black.
Yeah, and I think white has better options than bishop d6 for sure. I mean, for
like
example,
rook e1 maybe.
I don't like this move, I mean.
Maybe.
Rook g8. Then rook e1. Maybe king f7. Now things could
starting to get interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, maybe not, because maybe I can simply have knight e4.
I like these bad moves, you know, because I can play these moves when I don't look at my engine, like g5. These are the moves I play in blitz chess.
Too much. You can play in bullet chess.
You think blitz is too serious for these sort of moves. After g5, it says white is winning. h5, h5, h4, rook g8.
Is rook e1?
Rook e1.
King f7 is knight
King f7,
e4.
and then it says knight e4 is the only good move.
So we found the
that's
lines.
it. But you see, the only good move there. I mean, that's...
So that means it could try in a village game.
Well, it's not quite as stupid as all that, you know. That's it's losing, but at least it had some point to it.
In a challenging way.
Yeah.
Okay, so bishop f4. Now, look for something else, apart from g5.
Yeah. So, So the other way to play, I mean. Actually, it looks a bit tricky. Well, can we play rook c8? There's the first question. First question. Is that possible? Yay or nay? Yes or no? So what's wrong with that?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. Somehow not that clear. I mean, I'm just thinking something like rook e1 short castle.
Oh, it's an interesting move. Rook c8, knight d5. Ooh. Sharp tactics.
Oh, that's queen g7, rook e1, okay.
Right,
I was trying to make all this work, but I didn't realize how.
Yeah, okay. So that's an interesting one, because the idea is bishop takes d5, the queen comes in here, attacking the rook, and we've been saying rook g8, but here it's different, because suddenly rook e1 check.
Rook is lost.
And even more than the rook is lost, we're getting mated all over the place. So,
yeah, that explains rook c8. It's not working.
Well, you can do it actually. It seems.
But after knight d5, what
after
to play?
knight d5, you need to play something else. You can castle, or you can play king f7. King f7 looks appealing to me. Then what? Knight c7. Then complicated.
Bishop c4 or what?
Bishop c4.
Full of calculation.
Or even, no, bishop c4. And I'll tell you what, you should be very, very careful about putting the knight in on c7, because the other day, it was yesterday, wasn't it?
You put your knight there? Did you?
Yeah, during, during the FIDE, we both played a symbol. Yeah, it was there was a strict division of the sexes, wasn't there? You played against 20 girls and women. I played against 20 boys and men. And I had a completely winning position in one game. And I just sort of had a knight on d5, and I went knight takes c7.
Exactly, like this knight c7.
And, my opponent, I was totally winning. And I find my brain had just closed down completely. You may argue that my brain is never working at the best of times, but it had shut down. I went knight c7. My opponent went rook c8 in a flash, and I was just losing a piece. Somehow I couldn't extract my knight because there was a bishop hanging on c3. So that was the issue. He had a bishop on c6. So if I played knight c5, bishop takes d5, and my bishop was hanging. So one should be a little bit careful about going too far.
Or we can even do the short castle here.
Yeah. With that knight on c7, if we just you've got rid of that, but I can talk about the Crimean War because we're in we're in Russia. Mm-hmm. Oh no, I can't talk about the Crimea because that's a sensitive subject. But it reminds me of this when the cavalry, the British, there was a British cavalry attack. Oh. There was a British cavalry attack where they went in too far, and they attacked the guns. Mm-hmm. And the knight on c7 is where it's gone too far, and you can't come back. So that is, you've got to be careful. So let's have a look at castles instead. That's
okay. So white needs to take the pawn because otherwise, making no sense the whole plan, right? What happened? Okay. So
yeah. So
firstly, we
castles.
Look at taking pawns.
Yeah.
She played, by the way.
Yeah. So bishop takes c7 looks like sensible chess because otherwise, what are we doing? I think at some point you should.
Bishop f5.
Bishop rook d2. I think just rook d2.
Rook c8.
And bishop f4.
Yes, and I may have. Oh, I should be careful because bishop b4 will face knight d5.
Yeah. Okay.
So. It seems like you can keep your pawn.
Yeah, so...
okay, firstly, let's try to find dig out more options for black.
You may just play for compensation.
Yeah.
Bishop c4. You've got two bishops. And rook e8. Yeah, rook d2, rook e8. Rook f8, rook f8.
And rook d. Can you play some move like rook d1?
You can.
It's a bit tricky. Maybe I should have this h pawn push first, like h4. Maybe.
You're worried about your back rank.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
That's making me a little bit worried.
Yeah. There's definitely some compensation here, and I think if we had this position with white, we wouldn't feel
very comfortable.
I wouldn't feel that we're going to win. We're suddenly about to convert this, but you could perhaps after some time managed to consolidate. You know what I'm reminded of somehow? That the martial attack. You know how it is in the martial attack. You often have an extra pawn, and black. You know, when you're white, you've got an extra pawn, but black just doesn't have mating threats or anything. But black it just has activity. Quite often has two bishops, just back and forth, and has enough compensation to hold the balance.
Play with compensation.
Yeah,
fully agree.
yeah, and I think that's the sort of thing here that I, you know, if I had this position with black, I wouldn't be that concerned, not at all. But you know, it's also a question of plan. Maybe you double the rooks on the e file in that particular line. So.
Or maybe you could try to push b5, b4 to certain cases.
Yeah.
For example, like bishop c4 first.
Yeah.
Rook d2.
And then what? b5.
But that might face, well, that may be a bit too much.
Yeah, it's an interesting point.
That's very straightforward. We could
Yeah, maybe
this
this is good. And apparently, it's not that great because of rook d1.
With the idea knight d5?
Yeah, knight d5 or bishop d6.
Yeah, you're starting both.
Yeah.
So I actually need to hurry up to rook e8 first. Okay, let's see. If here rook d1.
Well, I think just something like rook e8. I think yeah, rook e8, rook d1. Yeah. Yeah, it's a question of how, if you can generate.
She played bishop f5.
Bishop f5, different way of
So
playing.
that's what we discussed at the very beginning.
Yeah. So you're going for, well, so you are conceding the d5 square, which...
But at the moment is fine, right?
Well, it could even be, interestingly, can we do, yeah. Why would rook d5 be a good move? I have no idea. It looks absolutely fine for black. Bishop d6 is what my beast is saying. Rook takes d6. Could just be an issue with
some initiative.
Some small initiative. Yeah.
Because now a good question where the queen goes.
Yeah, not that straightforward. Queen c5 maybe.
Then rook d7.
And then rook
f7.
Rook f7. I like rook after queen c5 perhaps. Can we do h4? No.
Okay,
no.
but then I'm fine if I allow
rook a d8.
rook
Yeah.
d8. It's just equal.
Yeah. I agree. Totally agree. Yeah. So you can do rook d7 there.
Oh.
Yeah. This and rook d2, and just ask some questions.
Maybe rook d1 here.
Right.
It should be equal. Or you thought slightly unpleasant for black? But it's hard.
No, it looks very close to being equal. I mean, I certainly wouldn't be. I wouldn't be that impressed with white's position. You've got some control over the dark squares, though.
Yeah. But how to make use of them?
Some h4, some knight h4. Knight d5, maybe, or check.
Okay.
You want to check, and then you want to mate me. You're very sneaky. Queen c1.
No, there's check. It shouldn't
You're right.
be.
And
Well.
then rook e8.
Oh, okay. Well.
Yeah, okay.
So.
It looks slender. You know, if white is better, the position looks. You know, it's slender margins really here. That's so bishop f5, rook d2. Just by the way, to return to a topic which we have discussed previously.
What is that?
No, you may think I'm joking here. I'm not joking at all, but I was there today on Facebook. I went on Facebook, and one of my friends just announced he'd become a woman. And
Today.
yeah, today, literally today, just announced that, and he's changed his name, and he's going to delete his male profile on that. So it happens. It happens, you know, and I think
especially if you try to pay attention, you'll find that it happens.
Well, I mean, I just mentioned it. You know, I was a bit surprised. I was a bit surprised today. So, and I'm not sure what the FIDE policy on this thing is there. So that is
The thing you would like to do some research on?
no. I mean, we probably have a policy somewhere. I just don't know everything about it. You know, I don't think it's very common in chess, but you know, maybe it will be an increasingly common issue in the future. I don't know. So, bishop f5, rook d2.
Yeah. Now black needs to find some neat way to equalize, which seems possible because bishop b4 facing knight d5 here.
So if rook c8,
Bishop f4.
and why aren't you? Yeah. So why aren't you playing bishop d6? Because of rook d8. That's the problem. And then bishop takes c2.
Yeah,
That's
let's
the
show
problem.
this.
This is the problem. That's an important variation.
Mm-hmm. Actually, black can play rook f7 here with the idea next move bishop b4. If that could equalizing simply.
Sorry, what's the idea?
Bishop f4, bishop b4, stopping knight d5. You don't like it?
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
I mean, because black cannot really hope for something, so why don't just simplify?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That could be just an equalizing move. So rook f7 and a bishop f4. That's a very good idea. I think that's an excellent idea.
Oh, thank you. And if bishop d6, because we don't need to talk about this different color bishop if everything goes normal. If bishop d6 here, we need to play rook d7.
How old were you when you beat me for the first time? Do you remember?
Yes, I remember.
Like, you were about three years old or something when you beat me the first time. When was that? 16 maybe, was it? Or
no.
14?
13 or 14.
14
makes sense.
14, my God. You crushed me like a chicken.
In Berlin.
Yeah, I played the Berlin.
Oh,
that's what I was thinking about today. I played
the sideline.
I played one of those really ancient variations, didn't I?
Too ambitious.
Yeah, very, very ancient variation. So you were 14, I think, when you beat me. 14 or 13? Oh, I don't know.
14.
14. Okay.
14.
It's terrible. I think that was the first game I lost to someone who was younger than my son, you know, and I'm very glad I have won a couple of games as well, so that's all right.
Yes, you did, for sure.
Yeah.
And rook d7, because here rook d8 is not good, then they will be facing rook d1 as it's unprotected.
Unprotected. Yeah, that's an important tactic.
So probably it's necessary to play the move rook d7.
Yeah.
And one rook d1 now to take, because bishop c5, this one is protected.
Yeah.
So here it's fine. Oh, see, rook f7 has been played.
Right, okay. So I'm wondering whether this is analysis, because these because these things are, you know,
very accurate.
Yeah, they're very accurate, and these are you know, very high on the engine's recommendations. So it may be she has looked at this stuff. It's perhaps not something that's she's got absolutely at her fingertips. You know, sometimes when you're playing these variations a lot, you can whip them out very quickly.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it feels to me that she has looked at this stuff before.
Looks like.
And she's just going a little bit slower and a bit steadier to be sure
that nothing going wrong.
You know, that these moves make sense. That, you know, sometimes you analyze variations with engines, and it's completely different when you sit down and you look at them over the board. They have a different perspective when you're actually sat in front of some wooden pieces.
Yes, exactly.
Rather than a screen. So this, it could well be that she has...
Okay, bishop f4 has been played. Then we might have a quick game today, right?
Yeah.
After bishop b4.
Yeah, bishop b4.
So like we said at the very beginning, white may just have some try and happy with the equal position.
Yeah. Strangely enough, you know what was the recommended move? It's interesting. The recommended move after this was queen f4.
With the idea, protect this one.
Yeah,
If you move away, then
and
bishop
the
d6.
Bishop d6, of course, is very good if you do
Take.
that. Yeah, and takes, and rook takes c2.
Rook c7, knight e4.
So you should take with the queen, and then maybe queen f3. And just some claim for
Okay, this it might be slightly... No, but it's hard. You can play bishop d4 if you want it to be simple.
Yeah. I'm a simple man. Oh, you could maybe go rook d1 or something there. Rook d1.
No, but rook d1 maybe they'll just go... Okay.
Just could be a tiny, tiny fraction.
Well,
better,
but it's,
you know.
it's
it
not
feels,
meaningful.
feels like a draw.
It's not meaningful after white choose this opening, you know. It's meaningful.
Yeah.
As a real position. But queen f4 indeed is a very interesting idea and probably worth a try.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe bishop b4. That should be played, right?
Yeah. Okay, so bishop b4, and now the thing that now if this move is played, you'll know that they're plugged into their computers.
What is the move?
Bishop b8.
What? With the idea, if you rook f8, you have knight d5, right?
You've got, yeah. You know they're plugged in. If you see this, yeah, rook
What's
d8
wrong?
check, yeah.
Oops.
Then you just take and take.
Take this.
Yeah. Bishop takes c2 is possible.
Or even
Maybe.
just king f7.
Should be a draw. Should be a draw.
I mean, no. I should play queen e8. Let's be safe.
Why is that safe? Check.
Because at least I try to
Yeah,
activate my joke as early as possible.
Okay, bishop d6.
Draw? You wouldn't hope for anything here.
Well, yeah.
Are you?
No,
you're joking.
No, I'm not joking. I'm just. I mean, I would still prefer white very, very slightly, although it should be a draw.
I mean, these 2 pawns.
Yeah, you're going
if
to.
you can go here,
yeah, you're going to put the bishop on.
here.
You put the bishop on c6 anyway.
Yes.
You can always put bishop d7, bishop c6, and draw.
Agreed.
Yeah. So bishop b4 I like. I like that. That's a very sensible move. And you can even try some other funny things. You can play I'll just rook e8, for example, and then bishop b4. It's actually difficult for white to
coordinate.
Just bishop b4 has been played the most natural.
Now we'll see if there will be bishop b8.
Yeah, if bishop b8 happens, I will eat my.
No.
I'll eat my Soviet hat.
Not cookies? I think if you choose cookies, that's safer.
I should eat cookies instead. That's very good. Good.
Okay.
I've got a note here from the FIDE press officer. David Yada, and he says that US chess has a transgender policy. Yeah, my friend was actually, he's American. FIDE does not, as far as I know. So that's, there we have it. So maybe we need to think about that at some point. there was a nice comment from Maria Gevorgian. Do you know her? She's now 4 times Armenian women's champion, and she's watching our commentaries. And I said, how is it? She says, amazing, love it. Obviously, a woman of great taste and discernment. Not so bad to win the Armenian Championship four times.
No, they have quite some very good, strong and decent players.
Yeah. So.
Is she won like lately or long time ago?
Yeah, I mean, come on, she's young.
Oh, sorry, I didn't really. No, okay. Okay, rook d1. What do you
All right,
say?
so I think we're heading for
a draw.
An early bath today. Yes, that's it. It's
okay.
So explain to us why are we so, why is this an early draw? What's the
different color bishop? We'll
different
come to our
right.
favorite topics.
Yeah. Okay. So opposite bishops, and don't they say in the middle game that opposite bishops
could bring attacks?
Yeah, they increase the attack. In fact, because the if you were attacking on one on the complex, say white would be attacking on the dark squares, then black wouldn't have, after an exchange, wouldn't have a bishop to oppose. But I think the point is here that both sides have got very safe kings.
Yeah, very safe. And none of them, I mean, we need this bishop to be super powerful, unstoppable, but here the pawn structure could actually block this bishop.
Yeah.
So, really hard to imagine anything, any improvements. And also not forget, after bishop c3, I think white will have somewhere to take with the queen, because otherwise, if you allow a4 pawn to be taken,
I agree. I agree.
Went wrong for white as well. So here,
and I think one of the points of rook d1 is probably a modest move, because rook to d8 check can be played at any moment.
Yes.
Just neutralizing everything. So my impression is, okay, we still, how many moves have we had? 20 moves so far. I don't think Ju has set out playing for a draw, but she's played safe. That's she's trying a little bit, slightly offbeat line. And her idea is, well, if my opponent is prepared, then a draw is okay. I'll go down to the last game.
It seems like she just wants some safe try, a little try, which secure her a safe place.
Yeah.
And if opponent suddenly did something wrong, she's happy to improve. But if not, a draw
is fine.
Yeah, it's absolutely fine.
And it may, strangely enough, play into Goryachkina's hands. Hard to say, but you know that sometimes just the pressure of the last game. Look, now she's facing defeat, so now this is Ju's match to lose. So when it's your match to lose, you can become nervous, because you think, ordinarily speaking, I should make 2 draws or whatever. I should score one. I should score at least 1 point, and I'm going to be world champion. But then the pressure can creep in. I don't know whether there are any Indians watching our broadcast. I will mention Mahendra Singh Dhoni, the legendary wicketkeeper, batsman for the Indian cricket team. And he was the great master of taking games right to the last minute and confident that he could produce whatever was necessary at the last moment rather than going too soon. And I know we're talking about chess and not cricket, but it's the same idea that you stay calm and confident in your own skills, that you can produce the win on demand at the last moment. And you also put that pressure on your opponent. Queen c3 has been seen.
Okay. It seems like Garachina today is kind of not set up just from her mind. It's acceptable for a draw. Otherwise, she would think more for bishop takes c3.
Yeah, sure. So I think that's it. And I think this is... It's smart enough.
It's smart enough, especially after last round.
Yeah,
because last round, if she could have the same
mentality,
I don't think the thing would become same again.
Yeah, sure.
Because yesterday the position literally is like this.
Yeah, and she was just pushing, like a maniac, and then went down. And it's like here, she's had time to reflect on it. Apparently, it's been 2 years or something since she's lost 2 games in a row.
Okay.
So this is it. And let's not forget the advice of Tigran Vartanovic. Petrosyan, he always said, when you lose a game, you should always make a draw after it. Because you're unbalanced. He had the same idea when you won a game. You should also make a draw after it. And if you make a draw, then you can make a draw after it. So that was his approach to chess.
That's why now drawing percentage increased dramatically. Okay.
This was told to us by Oleg Romanishin, and I think he was not joking entirely when he said this.
But again, it depends. I mean, for some people, they're just naturally adjust to what happened last. So this is actually a very strong ability. If you're not, better probably to consider the advice. But if you could self-adjust it, then doesn't matter what you did the last game.
There were those players. I mean, you look in the players from chess history, like Emanuel Lasker, for instance. He was one of those guys with he was a philosopher. I think he was a much better mathematician than he was a philosopher. But he actually, he was a philosopher, and he had a sort of philosophy of chess as well, and. To use the Latin phrase "errare humanum est," to err is human, and he understood that as human beings we make mistakes. And therefore, if you make a mistake, you shouldn't get unduly concerned about it. It's a part of our human nature. And you shouldn't be beating yourself up because you played a bad move. Let it go.
Exactly. We shouldn't really get struggled with what happened in the past.
Yeah.
I like.
You can't alter the past.
No.
Well, I'm expecting rook d8 check. I'm expecting
Very
very quick draw.
exchange and a draw. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I'm going to give you my guess as to what's going to happen here.
yeah, rook
Rook
d8.
d8 check.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe rook f8 is a winning try though.
Well, take on f8.
Takes, king takes.
And
And how do we draw?
Don't you want to just play bishop d6 check?
Okay, you play bishop d6 check. I go here.
No, then bishop b4.
Bishop b4.
I have rook d7 check.
You do.
So,
Nothing to be done. b6.
well, this you cannot win. I mean, I can play a5 if I want.
You can.
Okay, rook d7 check.
All right. I still prefer to play black in that position.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You're dead right. It doesn't matter. You can have the very, very faintly better of a draw, and it still is a draw. That's what you're saying to me.
Okay, not much to say. Rook d8. So it's time to think about what might happen for the last round, last classical game.
Yeah. It's kind of sad, isn't it? That
What is sad?
we haven't even had a break in this. I mean, normally we're working and working and working all day. We're being tortured by these players who are showing far too much energy and and stubbornness, and we're chained to our commentary chairs, and we are now discussing what's going to happen in the last game. Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, because I don't see the point that we still get into this position because the position is quite clear.
Yeah.
Okay, she even takes.
So no, this is just totally draw agreed.
Yeah, in a few moves.
That is not even attempting anything actually. So it's like she's totally calmed down, totally accepted the situation. But of course, now it will be one game remaining. And
yeah. I mean,
how do you normally cope in that situation with one game?
I don't think I coped a lot.
Yeah, because
I mean,
actually, one of the, if I can just, am I allowed to boast? Am I allowed to brag a little bit about one of my games from the past?
Go ahead.
That I was always very pleased that that actually Rustam Kazimjanov said to me that my game against Mikhail Gurevich in the last round of the Manila Interzonal in 1990, it was the game he would show to his children to show them how to play for a win when your opponent is trying to make a draw. Because I needed to win to qualify, and Gurevich, it wasn't a match like this, but it essentially came to the same thing. My opponent needed a draw to qualify, I needed to win. And I was even playing black. I'm very pleased that the god himself, Magnus Carlsen, recently referred to this game. He knows his classics, you see, as being an important game. And I played in a way where I just I allowed my opponent to exchange off most of the pieces. We played an exchange French. Most of the pieces came off very, very quickly, and I won an endgame of rook and knight against rook and bishop. So sometimes, you know, if you stay utterly calm, then you can just exploit your opponent's inaccuracies and do that. So it'll be interesting to see whether she's going to play. Oh, she has the advantage of the white pieces. That is it's a big difference to start off the game very slightly better and very slightly worse in a must-win situation. But she needs, I think, that sort of calm and, well, she's certainly ready to play 300 moves if necessary. Well, you need the position to do that. So.
Yeah. Maybe she just need to have the very common mindset.
Yep.
And to play a regular game, because apparently the one who need a draw would like to clarify the position as much as possible.
Sure. There are different options. You know, I'm still not absolutely convinced that the super calm way is. Well, it's not the only approach. This game is going to be a draw.
Okay, not this game. This
game has zero interest. This is going through the motions. White will put a bishop on b6, I will bet, and sooner or later.
Yeah, no need to
talk. Not even in a hurry to do that. King e2, king e3, put the king up. But there is nothing happening.
Yeah,
Both players know this. They simply have to make
couple of moves.
They have to make 40 moves. I will bet it ends on move 40.
Okay. Yeah, because I was thinking that you were looking at the position, so I started wondering what is the thing you were pointing out
No. Just I'm not looking at the position. I mean, it's so easy for white. I mean, white has actually got a tiny weakness with these isolated pawns, but it's even if you lose the c pawn, if white puts a bishop on b6, it is stone cold drawn. I mean, it's as dead drawn as you can imagine. Good. Let's talk about just whilst we're, because we don't really have too much to say. Did you look at the games from the Tata Steel yesterday?
When Magnus beat
Firouzja. Ali Reza Firouzja. You saw that?
Clear win.
Oh God,
more than clear.
It was a spanking, wasn't it? He got interesting that you know, the immensely talented Iranian teenager well, he was made to look like a teenager yesterday. I mean, that was the difference.
Well,
but
you know, that's the thing that sometimes happen very often while you are playing Magnus, right?
you kind of look bad. Magnus makes people look bad. This is true. Yeah. So we've seen it. My plan. She liked my plan. Bishop.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're moving towards move 40.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, they're just heading this way.
So talking about Tata still, would you predict that Magnus to win again, or?
Well, it's interesting. After a very slow start.
Yeah, but I think in Tata still, he normally starts very slow.
Yeah. So.
But always fight back. Okay, most of the times.
Yeah. What do you think? F4 now. F4.
I think H4.
H4, maybe G5, and then you're in trouble.
Okay. I'm happy to put myself in trouble.
Yeah. No, you need to make a lot of mistakes here.
Even that doesn't really change the outcome of the game.
You can lose sometimes if you're like super careless and you move your bishop at some moment
to allow B pawn.
Black plays B5 and en passant, then there's suddenly an outside pawn. So, but you really have to be incredibly incompetent to lose this position, and it isn't going to happen. We know that. You would normally expect somebody with, 2200 to draw this game comfortably. Never mind.
Even 2000, I guess.
Even 2000, you
or
probably.
1800.
That's
no problem at all.
You think 1800 you can still draw it?
I think so.
Yeah, interesting.
I mean, why don't
against Magnus? You think an 1800 would draw it against Magnus?
Depends on who the player is.
Okay.
I think there's definitely certain players can do.
Yeah. And we know that time trouble is not going to be an issue.
So let's predict what opening Gratagina might choose for tomorrow. Would she go for the same this line we've already seen in the last two games while she's playing white, or she might come up with something else?
C4, you mean? And then a C4 transposition into well, I don't know. I really don't know.
It's hard to say because it's the last round.
Yeah.
Well, talking about last round, from my own experience, I think I only put myself maybe only once into the last. Okay, maybe twice into the last round situation.
What? Where you're playing someone?
No, but not in the match. In the match, not in the not entering the last round, but the knockout system before.
Yeah. So a sort of win on demand, basically. You need to win.
No, I need a draw and I lost.
Oh, okay, that's not not quite.
And I need, and the 2 years before was I need a win and I draw. Okay.
Yeah. Great. You know what's the most difficult thing about doing the commentary today?
We're trying to create topics.
It's because there is no alcohol allowed in this university, and I could do with some for this because I don't really have anything very intelligent to say about the position anymore. So
You're F4.
Yeah.
You could know her better.
I mean, she's my Chinese sister. You know, that's.
Okay, it proved that you know her much better than me.
Yeah. You don't get. I mean, with that one-child policy, there weren't many sisters around, you know, for all of those years.
Yeah, in China, particularly in 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
No. So I don't have any siblings.
Yeah. And when did that change? The policy?
I think in the new century, I think around 2000, around 2010 or even later.
Yeah.
I mean, when the policy is completely open. I mean, not completely open, let's put it this way, that to allow any family to at least have 2 children.
Yeah.
That was in the recent years. And firstly, the policy was open to the minority groups of China.
Right.
They're allowed. And then finally, it's like every family.
Yeah. There are simply no tricks.
Not at all.
H4 draws for white. You know, I mean, anything draws.
Yeah.
Maybe F5 creates some problems. I don't know.
Even F5 wouldn't.
So, under the regulations, which are the specific match regulations, there can be no agreed draw before
move
40. Now, there are some people
who just to have the repetition, right?
Well,
this is not something you're going to say.
That is contrived. You know, a repetition. You can have a draw under move 40 if it's a perpetual check.
But repetition not?
Or repetition, threefold repetition. But to get a repetition in this position is a little bit contrived. You know,
well, but everyone can understand. That's a kind of normal way.
Yeah. But that's why I'm saying that I don't have a problem. There are some people who say there should be no agreed draws ever. And I think that's just... I can predict her moves. I mean, I'm sure we've got the same...
okay,
maybe now we get a repetition.
Yeah, King E3, King C4, King D2.
Yeah. Oh, no. She's going for it. Going for victory.
Okay.
You know, I mean, this is, again... to allow a draw here it's a sort of mercy killing. You know, the game gets to finish earlier. So euthanasia. Do you know the etymology of the word euthanasia? It just means good death in Greek. You know, euthanasia. That's basically what it is. Thanatos. Thanatos is death. And the... Now B5 can be played. No. I don't see a lot of excitement. They're just going through the motions, as can be seen. Maybe King G4 might be played at some moment, and black can pretend she has a threat.
Okay, King F3, King E3 here.
Well,
The most simple way, probably.
there's not even a hope of really of any trick. So I expect we will have the players coming in very soon, and I hope you've got some good questions.
Whom?
You?
Me?
Yeah.
I thought you or the
Why
audience, but today it's too early to have our audience here, especially in working days. Oh, is today a weekday?
I have no idea what day of the week it is.
Yeah, I think today's a weekday.
Are you like me that during tournaments you completely lose track of the days of the week?
No, I'm not.
Because I frequently have no idea.
Okay, before, yeah, sometimes yes, but now no. I mean, because weekdays and weekend, you know, normally weekend there are less things coming to you.
Let's talk about something else, because this game. Oh, right. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Thank God for that. You know, they finished.
To conclude.
Yes. So they'll be
here very soon.
Yeah. 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 They'll be coming. And interesting how, this is a little habit that Goryachkina has. She just sets up her own pieces. And
many players have this.
Yeah. It doesn't really matter because they will be set up anyway, but it's interesting that she does.
Yeah, especially every time the board looks like this. I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So this was not too much to be said. There was just a brief flicker of interest in the opening. Actually.
Yeah, the choice of the opening.
And it soon passed by, that moment where it went into an insipid endgame with no prospects for either side. So when are you going to become world champion again? Let's talk about that.
I think we have been talked about it last time, right?
Well, tell me. I'm curious.
I'm even curious. Okay, but for me, I mean, seriously speaking,
because you're so young and so talented, brilliant.
I remember during the lunch, you say something opposite.
Okay.
While talking about when we played yesterday, maybe when we played in Gibraltar, you said like, "Oh, you were so young."
Yeah, okay, but you're extremely young now, and you've got this. I have a great future behind me. You have a great future in front of you. So that's.
No, I believe there'll also be a bright future in front of you.
Just not in chess.
No, because nowadays that the life expectancy life expectancy is really increased, right?
Yeah.
So now the average age could potentially be estimated over 100 years or even more. Therefore, I thought that they're actually a long and bright future.
Yeah, longevity as opposed to shortevity. Yes. Which is something else.
We have many journalists here, so I believe that the players will come in very soon.
Yep. And
How about the audience?
The audience are on tenterhooks. They're ready in anticipation with their very good questions.
Yeah, today maybe they could. If they have more questions, maybe they can ask.
Good. So there are the scores on the doors. 6 points to Ju Wenjun and 5 to Alexandra Goryachkina. She needs to win to tie. We go into rapid chess if that would happen. If not, the match will be over tomorrow.
Yeah. We'll see. Tomorrow must be a real fight.
Yeah, I think we will take a short break. I believe that the players will be in just in any moment. So we'll take a short break and get ourselves ready for the
press conference.
Press conference. Okay, join you soon. welcome back. Here we are at the press conference. This was perhaps, I think it's the quickest game of the match, certainly in terms of time. I'd like to ask Alexandra first that you're 1 point down in the match, but it seems you are not too dissatisfied with the draw today. Is that right?
Ты -1, ну, то есть ты отстаешь, но ничья вроде, тебе кажется, как будто тебя не разочаровала сегодня.
Ну, так и есть.
It's true.
Okay. So, are you confident that you can level the scores tomorrow in the remaining game?
Уверен ли ты в своих силах выровнять счет в завтрашней последней партии?
Я буду выходить и делать максимум, на что я способна на данный момент.
I will show up and do maximum of what I'm capable of at the moment.
And when June, I'd like to ask you about today. Did you come into today's game playing for a draw, or were you hoping for something more?
Ты пришла играть на победу или надеялась на что-то
Well,
большее?
for me today, draw is.
Just a little louder, please.
For me, draw is satisfied, and still, I mean, I was also expect like a fight today, and okay,
Я
draw is good.
удовлетворена ничего, но я все равно ожидал битву.
So you were not playing for a draw, but you're not dissatisfied with the outcome.
Yes,
Довольно
Yeah.
результатом при этом.
Okay. I think we'll take some questions from the journalists.
Если вопросы журналистов.
Извините, телекомпания ТВ. Вопрос Александре. Ну, на самом деле, для тех, кто в шахматах не совсем много понимается, и для журналистов, и для болельщиков сегодня был важный день, все наблюдали за игрой. Скажите, для вас вот итог сегодня на самом деле был для вас самих непредсказуем? И когда вы поняли, что шанс еще завтра есть будет поиграть?
Не могу сказать, что был непредсказуем. Соперница не возражала по поводу ничьей. У меня будет шанс завтра, поэтому все продолжается.
The question was about how unexpected or unpredictable was what happened today, and so that I still have a chance tomorrow, and we'll see what happens.
Я уже ответила на этот вопрос в другой интерпретации, что я буду выходить и пытаться делать максимум, на что я способна в данный момент.
I'm ready to come and do my best tomorrow. I've already answered that question.
В какой момент вы приняли решение, что сегодня будет ничья?
At what point did you decide, realize that today is going to be a draw?
Наверное, как-то вопрос не очень корректный. Просто идешь, играешь, а уж как получается.
Yeah, it's not sure how to answer this. You just go and play, and you see what happens.
Можно было задать, довольна ли она сегодняшней игрой, что она думает по поводу.
Для Вэньчжун. Are you happy with today's game?
Oh, I think it's a normal game today, and both players played very solid and end up with a draw. I mean,
Довольно
draw
игрой,
is
оба
good.
игрока играли ровно и уверенно. Оба игрока играли ровно, и все четко, и закономерный результат. Вопросы из зала, не только журналисты.
У меня вопрос к обеим участницам. Вчера был выходной день, что вы делали, если это не секрет? Как вы готовились, как
Yeah,
оставшийся день?
you had a day off. What did you do yesterday for your day off?
Oh, well, I just stay at the hotel and well, have some rest and preparing chess.
Я была, просто была в гостинице, отдыхала и готовилась. Александра.
Я пыталась восстановиться морально после 2 совсем неудачных партий.
I tried to kind of restore some kind of sanity after 2 like bad games. Yeah. Еще вопросы? Any more questions?
Александр, хотел спросить причину как шахматиста, почему поспешили на c3 побить, или уже в принципе согласны были
Chess question. Why did you rush ahead with capture on c3? Perhaps you could have kept a little bit more pressure.
Но позиция уже не предполагала к тому, чтобы что-то прям сильно выдумывать.
The game is not the type of position that where there's a lot really to kind of invent, and the game called for it. Давайте последний вопрос, если есть. Если нет, спасибо, и увидимся завтра. Thank you everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank you. That's the end.